Welcome to the Grown Ass Dads podcast. Boop boop a doopy doopy boo.
All right. Welcome to the Grown Ass Dads podcast. I'm Adam Bundren.
I'm Jay Hilsing, and we are pumped. Let's get at it, Bones.
Who are you back there?
I'm Jason. Hi, nice to meet you guys. New surroundings. I don't know if you've noticed here. We're still getting settled in, so some of the decor and so on and so forth still to come, but we've settled into a different place here in our offices, so the studio is going to look a little bit different. We've got a couple different settings now. We've got these guys sitting in recliners as if they need to kick back and relax. Still have the old table of old, but some other things that we're going to be working on as well. So, and by the way, big time announcement. See if I can get this to work.
Oh boy!
Hold on.
Oh boy!
Merch alert! Merch is officially available on grownassdads.com. We have t-shirts and some hats and more stuff coming, but as of right now, you can go out there and order t-shirts and hats. We've been getting asked a lot, so very excited to announce it. And one more time. Yeah, that's right. All right, Adam,
You're excited. Or are you more excited for the merch or for the buzzer?
Both, but the merch took a lot of work to get that thing up.
Yeah, you did good, buddy.
We've done a lot of websites in our day and things like that, but for some reason, getting this merch site to work was a giant pain in the butt. But it's now there. So
it works. It works now. So we obviously we had a live episode last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And so we thought it would be good to do kind of a recap, what we've been doing since then, where we at, what's happening, maybe a little bit of a recap from what happened after our live, and then we'll do another episode after this at some point where we'll actually have a topic. How's that sound?
I love it. Just nonsense and ballyhoo. Whatever we can get on video, I guess.
If they're dumb enough to listen, I say give them what they want.
No, absolutely not. Do not take that shit. Our listeners, viewers are the smartest people around because they're just like us.
They're just grown-ass dads.
Just grown-ass dads.
Okay, so I'm gonna dive in a little bit into the post live episode, which created a lot of conversation, I think is the right way to put it.
Were you uncomfortable?
That's fair.
Huh?
Were you uncomfortable with that episode?
No, I was uncomfortable after the episode. I was I'm learning to kind of be a little bit comfortable in my own skin.
Okay.
Not something that I've historically been good at. More of a chameleon. I like to show different versions of myself depending on who's there, just so they like me.
Sure.
But I'm trying to honor, kind of my thoughts and feelings and shit like that. And so I wasn't nervous or uncomfortable during the live. The second it was over, I thought, did I just say that I would murder people on a live, and I would be perfectly fine with it? Yeah, I think I did.
It wasn't murder.
It was
chase them down,
retaliation,
find them, hunt them, then murder. If I could just clarify.
Well, and to be totally fair, that was watered down from how I really feel about that situation. So, I wasn't uncomfortable with the episode. I think like Sarah was a little uncomfortable with, some of the language that was used and some of the topics that came up. But I mean, I think that's okay, and I think that's what this is supposed to be. I think we're supposed to, for me, this is why I'm doing the show, is like, I want to be able to challenge myself and lean into my authenticity and maybe somebody will relate with it and go forward. But I did. So I have a good buddy. I've talked about him on the show. He lives in Colorado, and he reached out. I think I sent him the snip that Jay that you sent me.
Yeah.
I sent that to him, and he was like, "What the fuck's this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got a show." And he was like, "Oh," so he kind of leaned into it, and he said, "Hey man, I shared it with some buddies out here." I'm sure he agrees with some of the things I said, probably not all of them, and said, I appreciate your convictions.
Yeah.
And that's, to be totally honest, what I appreciated about, the topic of conversation in Charlie Kirk is like his convictions are something that I looked up to. So to hear that there was a connection there gave me the energy to do another episode of this, because it felt like, oh, okay, I'm not just sitting here being full of shit.
Yeah,
Sure.
hopefully that inspires him to actually go back and watch some of the other episodes. Right?
And I said that. I was like,
because they're not all that heavy.
right, and love him to death, doesn't have kids, doesn't want kids, didn't choose that path, loves my kids, loves my family. So like I think he gets to see it from a cool perspective. But I think his words were something like, and I'll probably butcher it, were like, hey, I shared this with some buddies who are like in your shoes, like who are dads trying to figure the shit out and chase jobs, soccer practice, dinners with the wife, and so on. So thanks, Bones. Another Bones.
Oh,
What?
He's also
a
Bones.
Did you just
I know.
thank yourself?
Isn't that weird?
That is
How does this happen?
arrogant
I
as
know.
fuck.
What's weird is like there's no friend. It's just me. It's just my other personality.
Thanks, Tyler Durden.
Yeah, right. So I'm not uncomfortable. Were you uncomfortable with the episode?
I was not. I am slightly different than the two of you, and I don't know that anything that I said in that episode was like super crazy outlandish. Convicted in some ways, but I'm pretty comfortable in the fact that I don't know that I am exactly a chameleon. I'm pretty much me, whether I'm sitting here with you or I'm in a business meeting or I'm with my kids. There's probably slightly less drinking and slightly less cussing, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to be me, and if you are not okay with it, or you think that I'm an idiot, or you think that I'm wrong, or you think that I'm the smartest dude in the world, I'm going to continue to go on in that world. So I'm not super worried about what people think. I guess I would say I was uncomfortable for you guys because of what I know and how long I've known you guys and your personalities. I was like, man, I'm super proud of you two for laying it out there and diving in. And I knew as soon as it was over and the adrenaline stopped that you were going to be like, oh, fuck. Oh, man, what's going to happen here? And so it went great. There was some comments, the majority of them positive. I got a bunch of text messages from guys that listen and were on board. Jay, in the, I don't know, however many thousands of views or whatever it got, did we get any hate or anything negative in that world?
I'm not going to say that it didn't happen, but there wasn't much.
Okay.
So the audience was mostly quiet. Couple people were it was nitpicky stuff, right? Like, no, like, you guys are terrible. You guys are the wrong people to be talking about this. It was little smidgens of things that we talked about that people actually would latch onto. But believe it or not, I being the prudish one in this group, I was not uncomfortable at all. I was pretty happy with how it turned out. I think the primary feedback that I got, one, yeah, I heard about the language as well. But also that my questions that prompted the episode didn't get answered. So I'm just going to toss it out. Okay. Like I realized, like, I didn't realize it as we were recording, but kudos to BG for being like, hey dude, great episode. I loved it. But you asked questions at the beginning that never got addressed. I was like, okay, well, fair point.
Let's address them.
Yeah, my question was, or what I intended to get to, and we won't spend too much time on this because we're 10 minutes into a brand new episode. We don't need to rehash a whole bunch of old shit. But I didn't know the question, or what I was hoping to get out of that episode was your guys' suggestion on how I handle my kids who are extremely driven by gaming, extremely driven by online environments. They live their life online, whether it's on the internet, or it's in a gaming, playing with whoever, who knows who. Occasionally, my kids will have their door closed and they're playing their video games and things like that. So, I guess the question coming out of that we didn't necessarily address is, what do I need to do now, knowing that my kids are severely, okay, that's harsh. My kids are heavily influenced or involved in online environments, gaming environments. And I dove into that on that last episode, referring to the alleged shooter and his radicalization and so on and so forth. So my question is, how do I, as a dad, address and try to prevent that radicalization from happening within my kids and the environments that they're enjoying online? Because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. So fair question, right? And number one, I'm not a parent that has everything figured out, so probably not 100%, qualified to give all of the advice. I thought we did kind of address this a little bit. So if I remember correctly, my recommendation for that specific question is to give your kids other means of influence.
Your answer was love them.
Yeah, love the shit out of them so that they don't have to go somewhere for it. Kids in general are very easily influenced and impulsive. When everything from so-and-so said this new game or this new movie or this new something is cool, therefore I want to be a part of that, to we're at Home Depot and we're standing at the checkout aisle and there's a candy bar right there. I'm impulsive. Give me the thing that's right. They're so impulsive to where they just want stuff, whether it's answers or influence or stuff. They want it and they want it now. And that's just not the way the world works. And if it does, it's a dangerous place to be. It's so funny because Sarah and I were just talking about this tonight before we got in, of like, how do we get them engaged so that they can become self-sufficient human beings? Otherwise, they're going to be 30 years old and not know how to do laundry and not know how to do anything. Like, my kids help, but they don't have... Harry's, obviously older, but like, they don't have a routine that like they can just step into. And now our household is like a well-oiled machine. It's like, we go in these waves of like, hey, everything's going great. And it's like, we haven't done laundry or dishes in a week and there's shit everywhere. And my answer to that question was love them and teach them that they don't have to be influenced by everything. Because if you can teach discernment, then and like free thinking and critical thinking, well, then when someone pops up and says like, you know what, I'm fucking pissed and I'm going to take it out on a bunch of random people, they can go, that seems batshit crazy. I don't think you should do that. Or they'll never lean into that type of ideology.
But I get that. And I do love all of my children equally, and a lot, at least I hope they realize that. My question is more so, do I need to be stricter about how I govern their activities? So do I say, no more closing the door so that way I know exactly what's going on? Or, hey, who are you talking to online? Can you give me an idea of who things are going on? What games are you playing? What chat groups are you part of? I don't want to be that guy. Right? I don't want to know everything. Let them be their own person, right? So it's more of a, hey guys, this is a terrible freaking world that we live in, right? So here are things that might, or may never happen, but if they do, let's have a conversation so I can help you navigate right and wrong. Let you make the decision what's right or wrong, but at least give myself an opportunity to kind of ingest my opinion.
I think that it's twofold. I think that you're wrong.
Me.
You. I think that you're wrong because the world is what you're going to make of it. Do I think there are terrible people? Is there terrible things that have happened? Is there a way to be in the shit of it? Absolutely. There's also in the opposite direction of making the world better and making the world is a great place. Where we live in the United States of America is a unfucking believable place to be. And you get to make it what you want. You make it out of who you surround yourself by. You make it out of the situations that you put yourself in. When you say, I don't want to know what they're doing. I get where you're coming from and I get what you're trying to say. I'm with Bones in the fact I don't have it all figured out by any stretch of the imagination, but asking a few of those questions and being engaged in what they're doing, being interested in what they're doing, not forcing them to tell you or being the dad police of, all right, give me your phone, let me see what you've been doing, but popping your head in now and again, hey man, what are you doing? And just being interactive with them and getting to know what they are doing and who they are talking about. Hey, you're playing games with some friends. Who are you playing with? Not accusing them of playing with the wrong people or doing something they're not supposed to do, but, oh, I'm playing with Steve and Tommy and Liam and this dude that I just met. He's pretty cool. He jumped into our game and seems to fit in. Okay, cool. Asking those questions and giving them the outlet to tell you the answer and be truthful with you without having some sort of judgment or going, no, we're not playing with Tommy. Tommy's an asshole. You're not allowed to play games with Tommy.
Tommy is an asshole.
That's
I might have misled a little bit. So I do. Like,
okay.
I'll knock on the door. I'm allowed in, and then I go and I'm literally I'm going to pick on Aiden for a few minutes here because
it's your fucking house. I hope you're allowed in.
Well, sure, but I don't want to barge in on something I shouldn't barge in on, which we're not going to dive into on this episode. But I'll go in there and I will look over Aiden's shoulder and see who he's playing, what game he's playing with, and what the Woodsy Spider is somebody he plays with. It's either Colin or Connor or somebody. So I will actively pay attention to who the people are that I see on the screen and ask questions about, well, who's this guy? Who's that guy? In a way that I hope is not too intrusive, because the fun part about it is he'll all of a sudden tell me who it is, and then I know where the microphone's at that he's talking into, and I'm talking shit in the middle of the game, right? Because that's just what I do. So I don't want to make it sound like I am completely oblivious to what's going on. I'm just trying to not be that helicopter parent monitoring everything that's going on. I feel bad when it's 10:30 at night and I'm watching my kids on Find My Friends who are driving home from work because I want to make sure that they get home okay. I feel like I'm being too intrusive at that point, but might be for another whole nother episode.
No, I mean, I think, dude. So here, first, like, you're a good dad. Like I think you're a good dad. Like I see. Obviously I get exposure to you and Carter way more than I do the twins, just because that's where I get exposure to.
Sure.
But you are, like, I hope you're not trying to validate whether or not you're a good dad.
No.
And so, like, you need to just kind of nip that. The other piece is, and this is kind of, it's hard for me. I have a 13-year-old right now, and I want him to come to me with stuff.
Sure.
And I know that if I press him for stuff, he's not going to want to come to me with stuff. So it's like a dance. I mean, at least in my house, it's like this dance that we do of, like, I want him to get in a little bit of trouble. I want him to kind of figure some stuff out on his own. But when he bumps his nose, I want him to turn to me and go, hey, I screwed up. What do I do? Or I'm dealing with this thing. What do I do? And he does for the most part. And so I feel confident that if somebody says something, somebody shows a certain behavior, he's going to come to me and go, hey man, this is too heavy for me to carry. What do I do?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like building that trust, and that trust isn't built. Trust is a two-way street. It's not built by like him showing me that I can trust him. Like he has to know that he can trust me also. And that's not hiding shit. I always like when we're at work or I'm coaching, agents or my team or even, kids. I always say like, hey, support looks weird sometimes. It's not signing off on everything that you do. It's kind of loving you enough to share where you're at. And like you say you want to do X and you're not following that path. Support looks like putting you back on that path. And so it's owning up when you fuck up, and I've had that conversation with my kids before where, Harry, I honestly think that he thinks I can do no wrong. I'm his dad. And that's...
You want me to tell him otherwise?
Yeah, right. So like, but I remember like looking at my dad the same way of like, on this pedestal. And like, I remember telling him like, hey man, I made a mistake. And he's like, Dad, it's fine. It's fine. I'm like, hey, time out. It's not okay. I'm a man. And you need to know that when you mess up, it's your responsibility. You don't need anybody to apologize for you. You don't need anybody to quickly forgive you and wash away your mistakes. That's how you learn. It's called accountability. You have to take responsibility for the consequences of your actions, intended and unintended.
Yep.
And that's how I have worked on building trust. Certainly with my oldest, and Gus is younger, so I'm it's just we're in a different stage of that.
It's like, oh, Dad.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a much more innocent and sweet stage than Harry is. He's dealt with a lot of stuff as a kid already, and so it's teaching him that like, hey, this is hard stuff, and it's gonna get harder, but you don't have to do it alone. Like you can lean on me when it gets hard. And that was always kind of my path when you asked the question during the live. And then again, here is like, how do you establish that relationship to where they're coming to you and being like, hey man, like I was playing with this Tommy guy and he's saying, all these, he's saying the F word and the N word and all this stuff on these games. And I just don't want to be a part of that. And it's like, cool, dude. You don't have, like they're looking for permission to like not be in the cool club or something. And it's like, you got to just help them through that.
Yeah.
So
a lot in there.
Yeah. I feel like I tried to answer your question on the live. And I'll reiterate where I am. Do I think that video games create sociopaths? No. Do I think that video games can desensitize kids to violence and other things? Maybe a little. Do I think that kids play too many video games? Depends on the kid, but I don't particularly think there's like a too much. There probably is a too much.
I think, sorry to interrupt, but I think that there's, in this particular scenario, there's a different situation. It's not about the games, it's about the communities and the people communicating with each other.
So I'm getting there.
Okay. Sorry.
So what I do think is, if you're asking me specifically what do I think you should do, you have to gauge the reality versus the internet or the fantasy, the whoever I can be, say whatever I want behind my screen, talk shit to anybody, say whatever's on my head, be as vulgar or whatever I want to be because I'm in my house and nobody can get to me situation. While if you're going to do anything with that, it's if they have a grasp of reality, if they are able to interact with people outside of a video game or outside of a chat or a room and communicate effectively, that's a pretty damn good start. Secondarily, what I had said on the show was, if they know right from wrong and they are a grounded individual that has some sort of morality to them, you're doing well. And in the fact of the guy that is alleged, I don't know if it's alleged anymore when they put his face all over TV and have made arrests, but
Adam,
if that dude had to do multiple things to get himself prepared to go up to a rooftop, to load a gun, settle himself, put a person in his sights, and be comfortable pulling a trigger and ending a life. Now, whether you are a conspiracy theorist or not,
Why are you looking at me?
because
we both did.
because we're not. That's not part of the show.
That's the Grown Ass Dads After Dark.
Is that? That's totally different than what I thought Grown Ass Dads After Dark was. There are so many different things that happen in that scenario for that young man to make a different choice. It's about understanding your kids and your kids knowing right from wrong. As influenced as they're going to be by other people, as impulsive as they're going to be, this wasn't like he was sitting on the roof by himself playing a video game and some dude was like, "Hey, here's a rifle. Go ahead and take a shot at that guy and we'll see what happens." That's not what happened. So if I have to believe that anybody that has a moral compass and understands right from wrong at a basic level to perform, and all of the actions that led up to him actually pulling the trigger on that, something's awry in that gentleman's DNA or in his mental state, because that's just not how it works. People will argue with me and go, well, then how about a military member that's overseas fighting in a war that's going to pull a trigger on somebody? That's a different topic altogether. And what happens is, I have talked to people that have killed people in combat, and it still affects them. They are good people, and they know that they shot someone that was trying to kill them or was a terrible person, and they still have some sort of regret that they ended a life. So that, to me, if you are teaching your kids right from wrong and you are having conversations with them about these things, and they're able to interact in the world outside of a video game or outside of an online chat space, you're setting them up for where they need to be, and I don't believe your children will be murderers.
I was in no way assuming that they were. It was more of a, hey, listen, our kids are involved and have different communities than we're used to. I think that I've got a great handle on it. I think it was more about just kind of having that conversation and trying to figure out where we go, right? So this episode has gotten heavy again.
Well, there's a lot to unpack. God, I'm not allowed to say anything.
Nope.
I mean, I'm obviously not going to go down.
You can say whatever
I'm not
you want.
Well, I know I can't. I'm just teasing.
I
obviously not.
disagree.
Well, I can.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed. I'd prefer that you not.
I know you'd prefer it, but grown ass adult. I'm a grown ass dad.
Wishing one hand and crapping the
Right.
other.
Yeah. I mean, I have no intention of going down a conspiracy theorist rabbit hole, although I don't agree with the narrative that we're all being fed. I think there's more to it. Even not being a conspiracy theorist, I think that there's just so much information that, one, we probably can't know as citizens, and I kind of think that's bullshit in general, but that's the case in lots of things that comes out of the DOJ. And I also don't think that our military people are always killing terrible people on the other side. I think they're killing other military people that are fighting other people's wars. And they're just
let's not get into the military war and situation, because we could be on this for days.
Well, I'm just saying I mean, you had made a comment, and I think that's
a fair rebuttal.
Yeah. I think that's unfair. I think to assume that that's the nature of war. I think war is being fought by soldiers for people in suits. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Deep episode right out of the gate.
Yeah. So do we? What do you guys think? Do we dive into some other topics now?
Well, I think we wanted initially to recap
what's been going on.
Here, I'll give a quick recap on my last few weeks. I spent 5 hours in a tattoo chair and finished the tattoo. I'm not going to take my shirt off and show everybody. It looks fantastic. Yeah. Just trust me. We have merch now. We have a new studio now. We have a new schedule for recording now. So hopefully we're going to have a better cadence of these episodes coming out.
I'll take some fault. My editing process is long.
You don't need to take any fault, Jay. I'll make an I statement. I have not prioritized recording as much as I would like to. I let life happen, and this doesn't always go to the top of the list. So I'll own my own shit. Yeah, that's my update.
The last couple of weeks have been pretty quiet, pretty grown ass dad-esque. We've done a lot of youth sports. We had a couple of fundraisers up at school. We have took the kids to their first city game over the weekend, and they had a blast, even though city is hot garbage. But the stadium's incredible. The experience is incredible. The food's fantastic. My guy Matt Seebeck does a unbelievable job with the experience in the stadium. So that was really fun to get to take them to there.
He's come a long way.
He has come a long way.
I used to read Matt when he was like just kind of a push in the journo world.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Super creative, super intelligent dude. Has done extremely well, and love that he's kind of leading the experience for the franchise and does a phenomenal job. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of that. A little bit of gambling in the football space. Man, do I love college football and NFL football, but I don't know how great it is for my pocketbook, if you will, because I don't know that I would consider myself a phenomenal gambler. But man, do I love that $50 jolt of energy watching some nonsense Sunday night game to try and get back to even. I'm very pleased that I have not put any gambling apps on my phone because I would be broke immediately because I love it.
Got to double up the catch up. That's what my bookie used to tell me. That's why I don't gamble anymore.
But he also gave you money for a ring, so that's good.
He did, and that's a good. You know what? Did you guys see the Charlie Sheen thing?
I haven't watched it yet, and I'll be honest.
I've seen ads for it, but I haven't.
Yeah, I'm struggling with even wanting to watch it because of all the stories that have come out about him, and apparently he addresses it. So a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, did you watch the Charlie Sheen thing?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm not going to watch that cat." And they're like, "Oh, why not?" And I was like, "Because of like all of the smoke and stories that are out there about him and Corey Haim." And he goes, "Dude, he addresses it in the thing." And I was like,
does.
"Really?"
Yeah.
I mean, good on him for addressing it if it's not true. But I mean, there's a lot of evidence out there. So, I mean, regardless, I don't know if I'll watch it or not. I have trouble watching stuff like that about people that have shown themselves to be just kind of shit people.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy, and I was kind of expecting it to be a feel good, try to remake his image type of thing, and it did not.
Oh, maybe I will watch it.
The Corey Haim thing was addressed, and it was Corey Haim apparently came out and said it's blatantly false, and it is not. It didn't happen.
He's dead.
He's dead. He didn't come out recently and say
No,
it.
it wasn't recent, but that was part of the deal. His coke and crack addictions and things were insane. The reason that popped into my head is your bookie loaned you money for your wedding ring. This has been out long enough, so I'm not worried about spoiling the show. But you're talking about a dude that is now on this show telling you that one of his closest friends in the world is his crack dealer, who hangs out with him all of the time, who at one point in time, Charlie Sheen was paying him $50,000 a week for his crack rocks. And the way that he ended up getting clean is his dad got to his crack dealer, and his crack dealer and his dad, with a scientist, reduced the level of potency in his crack over a 1-year period to where at the end of the year he was smoking basically just powder with no drug in it.
Oh, such a nice dealer.
Right. Who says crack dealers aren't nice?
And it was
What a sophisticated young man.
insane. When you see him, he's not very sophisticated.
Here's my question, though. I mean, like, it was a known fact that his best friend was his crack dealer, right? If you're the cops, don't you just like hang out next
Follow
to
the
the
crack dealer?
best friend and be like, all right, we'll just watch this crackhead?
It was insane. There was some crazy shit in this I mean, there's no way in the world the dude should still be alive in any way, shape, or form. He goes through a whole thing about the HIV stuff, goes through the whole thing. This is something that I've talked about with some other friends. When you are a celebrity, like a real big deal celebrity, that you get whatever
I'm
you
aware.
want. You get whatever you want, Bones.
We're up to 9 episodes.
Some of these folks get bored with normal shit.
I know, dude, and I get it. I get it. I've talked to people that are in that world. I know I just don't understand how your circle can be so closed off that you turn to fucking insanity.
I'm in this situation, and we had a gay straight conversation very briefly in a number of episodes ago, but in the deal, he decided to start sleeping with dudes, and it's like I'm not gay, but I've already done all of the stuff that I can possibly do with girls and 8-9 girls, and so I just decided to flip the menu over and try that side of the menu for a while. That one threw me a little bit in the fact of I don't know that I'm wired at any point in time to do that.
Don't get bored.
I guess don't get bored, but I like it's so crazy to me that you're like, man, I've slept with so many fucking girls. I'm just gonna start sleeping with dudes for something different. What?
If there were rails for this episode, it went off
done.
a long time ago.
We don't even have guardrails. We have light, basically guidelines. We'll call them
Pool noodles.
But yeah, there was. I watched the documentary or what have you, and there was some shit that his co-star on 2.5 Men lit him on fire.
John Cryer.
I mean,
I love John Cryer.
Just laid it out there. And
Ducky?
was just and again, Charlie Sheen was the executive producer, and
He's the highest paid television star in the history of television.
was Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
Yeah. At $2 million an episode.
Unbelievable.
And they talked about that as well and how insane that it was. And but I was entertained by it. It was not what I was expecting.
I'll watch it.
It's worth the watch.
All right, I'll watch it.
I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to give my life update following a description of Charlie Sheen's life, but hey, here goes nothing anyway.
Give it a shot.
We're different dads.
Yeah,
But Charlie Sheen's a grown-ass dad of multiple kids with multiple wives.
and maybe some dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So lot of college stuff. I mean, we are deep in the hunt of visiting colleges, looking at colleges, trying to figure out what in the world my 17-year-old twins are going to do with their lives, right? So it's a completely different battle than anything else. Like,
Are they looking at the same schools?
they are intentionally not.
Oh.
Like I think they want to officially kind of say, hey, I'm going my way, you're going your way, and it is what it is. However, there was a slight change today. One of my sons was actually talking to the other one while we were touring campuses and said, hey, come look at this one with me. I think you'll really like it. Which kind of caught us off guard. So we'll see. The thing that's crazy about it is this stuff is just, some of it is crazy expensive, and a lot of it is a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Like, I mean, we send both of the boys to a private Catholic school here in St. Louis, and depending upon the decisions that they make, we might actually send our kids to college, both of them, with room and board, for cheaper than one of them going to high school.
No way.
Yes, it's legit. So
In-state?
both of them are everywhere that they're looking at right now is in state. Yes,
Okay.
but still, like the original scenario, it was going to be less than half of what we're paying for high school for one of them right now to send both of them to college. That's not the current scenario.
That is amazing.
Yeah, we have a couple different scenarios, different schools we've looked at that story, that narrative could change dramatically. But we'll see what they pick. So we'll keep an eye on that. My youngest is still navigating life along with Adam's youngest and hanging out and being best friends and figuring out what's going on there. So anyway, that's my life update.
Can I make you feel better? And I don't know if it's going to make you feel better or not, but I think it'll make
I
you
do
feel
have
better.
a knot in my...
Right. Is it going to make you feel better?
Nah, it doesn't make me feel better. I just want to give a little bit of perspective on this. And I'm going to ask this question slightly loaded. I'll lob this softball to you. How did my life turn out? You've known me for 30 years.
I'm going to say you're doing all right.
Doing all right? Okay, I'll take all right.
You're doing just fine.
I went away to school in my first semester and had just a wonderful time. But came back after my first semester with a 0.9 GPA. And that's a 0.9 Bluto Bolutarsky. And then did another year of community college. And after that year and a half of paying for school, I successfully achieved a 0.9 GPA. I went to 5 different colleges and ended up graduating I graduated 7 years after I graduated high school, but I took 2 full years off. But graduated with a 3.0 GPA and have 2 degrees. So,
Dr. Hilsing, everyone.
I say that this next chapter or this decision for them is not an end-all be-all. If they choose a college and they go and they flourish and they're there for 4 years and they kill it, awesome. If they choose a college, they're there for a semester and they're like, I fucking hate it here, I want out, they're going to be just fine. They'll figure out the next journey or the next chapter. And it might suck for a second and they may lose some credits or it might cost a little bit of money, but finding their fit, finding where they're comfortable and where they want to be every day is the key. And quite frankly, I think it's a little bit absurd for 17, 18-year-old boys and girls to pick a spot to live for 4 years when it's the first time they're going to leave their house. They don't know what they want to do for a job, and they're going to be great. You've got great kids,
I agree.
and so.
And I think the majority of that is probably fodder for a completely different conversation in a different episode, because I think we could talk about that for a long time. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what they pick. Hopefully, most affordable will be great. But yes, there's a lot of decisions to be made. It was interesting, kind of like driving home today and having Blake in the backseat going, "Dad, I just don't know how I pick. Like, I like this about that place. I like this about that place. I like this about that place. Like, how do I decide?" And I'm back in my head, I'm going, whichever one's cheaper. But of course, that's not the right way to handle it, right?
Right.
So, it's gonna be an adventure, and good news, everybody who's listening is gonna hear the whole process as we go through it. So
I like that.
Oh, I did do one other thing this week. We did schedule our grown-up charity wiffle ball tournament.
Really?
And I don't know that you and I have ever talked about it. Jason and I have, but we do a we do a charity event that we raise money for the kids' school, and it is a dads only 21 and up event, and we play slow pitch softball in the gym, run the bases, make plays, field the whole 9 yards. Play 8 players in the field, and you play with big fat wiffle ball, like softball sized wiffle balls, in the big fat like red bats. And it is probably the most fun thing that I do every year. And we do it around the first playoff weekend, the wild card weekend in football, and all the dads hang out, and we drink some beers, and we have some food, and kids are not allowed in the gym because it's a grown-up atmosphere, and we have an absolute blast. So I was super pumped to get that on the calendar, and must highly recommend if you're looking for something easy and fun for an event at your kid's school, or you're trying to raise money for whatever. Easy to do and is absolutely a blast. On occasion, we'll have some injuries because your old fat grown-ass dads trying to be kids and going hard and running the bases. We've had 2 years ago, we had a complete guy running to first base decided to try and slow down, tried to stop himself, and literally tore his MCL, ACL, and PCL in one move. It was in
Why
a
would you
brace
stop on your way to first?
for 9 months.
You know what they teach you? Yeah. Run through the bag.
Well, here's the deal: when you're running a 60-foot base path and the wall is 80 feet, you got to slow down pretty quick after that 60 feet. And he didn't manage it all that well, and was that was a gnarly injury. I'm sorry you did that, Mike, but it's a story nonetheless. Yeah. So
I like that. Good for Mike.
Good for Mike.
Yeah.
That's all we got. So, Jason, I know you usually do as a disclaimer, like if you're listening to us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. If you're following us or you're seeing someone sent you a clip on TikTok or Instagram, I assume we have a Facebook probably.
We got it everywhere.
Follow the show, share the show.
Merch.
Yeah, we have merch, so pick up some merch there. We just sponsored a golf tournament a couple of weeks ago. That went well. That's all I really got.
Yeah, I will say that the merch is a big deal for a couple of reasons. One, we want to get the name out, want more people to know about it, and literally everywhere that I go that I'm wearing a Grown Ass Dad's t-shirt, everybody thinks it's freaking hilarious, and then they ask questions, and it leads to more viewers. But at the same time, things like our new space, the wall looks boring behind us, we could use some decorations, things like that costs money, right? So anything that you guys do as listeners to go ahead and purchase some merch and get some money into the coffers, it just makes the show even better. So we appreciate you.
All right, that's all we got.
We'll see you next week, everybody. It's been fun. Bones, I love you.
Love you.
Cheers, buddy.
Peace.
Grown ass dads out.